Alright, so today I'm going to do a trailer breakdown for the Miss Marvel Disney Plus series trailer that just released yesterday. So there's nothing really super huge in this trailer that I managed to see, but I'm going to go ahead and break down everything that I managed to catch. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. So let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, so first off, I just want to say, I get it.
You get what?
High school.
Kamala.
Another adventure shirt. Cute.
She thinks I'm some kind of weirdo.
You are a weirdo.
Boys.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
You're kind of on my shirt.
Sorry.
But you're staring out the window in your little fantasy land. Kamala, hey, already? Really? Come on, like...
Do I have to figure out my whole future before lunch, or is there like...
Alright, so for this first part of the trailer at the very beginning, when she's kind of daydreaming and scribbling in her notebook/journal, we see that she drew Ant-Man and then Man-Ant, which I just thought was kind of funny. And then you can also see that it almost looks like she drew someone that has like wings and they're flying into the stars. So clearly shows that she's daydreaming and she wants to, like, you know, be that type of person that's able to fly into the stars like that, which I think works hand in hand with her idolization of Captain Marvel, who is mainly a cosmic superhero. Now we also see, I really like this Marvel Studios logo transition. It's very like out of a comic book. And we actually see that with the rest of this kind of beginning part of the trailer, where it kind of remains in a comic book panel as you watch it, and we kind of get like a on-screen narration of things that happen. We can actually see that when it shows her talking to what appears to be her guidance counselor at school. When he clicks the pen, we see the word click pop up as he does it, which is very reminiscent of Into the Spider-Verse, when Miles Morales throws a bagel at a guy and the word bagel pops up when he's hit. Now, we also see that she's talking to this girl that has devil horns over her, so maybe it's clearly going to be like a high school bully or something like that, right? And she's wearing a shirt that says, "Ladies, let's get information," which is obviously in reference to Beyonce's song Formation. And it shows Captain Marvel, the Wasp, and honestly, it shows a third woman who I'm actually kind of... I'm mad because I don't know if I just can't tell who it is, and it really is somebody, or if it's someone that for some reason we don't know. I am kind of getting a little upset about it because I was looking at this shirt for a while trying to figure out who this could be. In my opinion, maybe it could be like Valkyrie or something like that. I don't think it could be Black Widow because obviously the person had like black hair and like sunglasses and stuff like that. So I don't know. When looking at it, I thought it could be Valkyrie, but I'm not entirely too sure who that person could be on the right in that shirt. So, but I digress. Let's continue on for the second part of the trailer.
Maybe they're right. I spend too much time in Fantasyland.
That is not you.
It's not really the brown girls from Jersey City who save the world. That's a fantasy too.
So in the second part of this trailer, so I'll before I say this, I'll also say I'm not Muslim, so I'm not necessarily familiar with Muslim customs and cultures, but it looks like that she appears to be in some sort of mosque, because Kamala Khan herself is Muslim in the comics, and I know a mosque is like the standard place of worship for Muslims. So then we see her at some type of event with a Captain Marvel statue. I'm not really too sure what this could be. Kind of my first thought, because the vibe of the show was like maybe it could be some type of school dance, but that would be kind of weird if it was like a school dance that was like Captain Marvel or superhero themed. I mean, it's possible, and I guess in the world of MCU, but it just seems kind of weird to me. But it could be some type of like event celebrating the superheroes of the world. Like, I don't know, maybe like some type of Comic-Con, but like just a celebration of the actual superheroes in that world. And then it shows her trying on what looks to be her first hand-made outfit. Whether or not she made it because she's a fan or if she's just got the powers and she made the suit is unclear. But it's clearly based off of Captain Marvel's style, which makes sense because Captain Marvel is who she idolizes in this world. So the next scene, it seems to imply that she got her powers from cosmic wristbands in some sort of attic, whether it was her attic or another attic, who knows. but when she puts them on, she gets some type of Green Lantern-esque powers. So, I mean, there's a couple of things to explain here, right? First of all, this is not what her powers are like in the comics at all. And I'm not necessarily saying this as a gripe, per se. I'm just stating it as a fact. So, in the comics, she has polymorphic abilities like Mr. Fantastic, aka she can stretch her limbs, she can contort herself to take on weird shapes and everything like that. She also originally acquires her powers from the Terrigen Mist, which is released from the Terrigen Bomb, which for those of you who don't know what that is, a brief explanation of that is that it's a bomb that activated everyone who is an Inhuman's powers. So think of Inhumans as mutants, aka the X-Men, but the Inhumans didn't always have their powers. They had like a gene that was dormant within them, and then that gene was activated by the Terrigen Mist, which turned on their powers. So if like the X-Men are born with their powers, and they kind of, obviously not all X-Men discover their powers from the moment of birth, but they discover them naturally throughout their life, I should say. But Inhumans, all of the Inhumans' abilities were only activated from the Terrigen Mist. And then the last thing I'll explain too is, if you don't know what I mean when I reference the Green Lantern, aka like the Green Lantern-esque powers, Green Lantern being from DC, what I mean is Green Lantern basically has the power to conjure up any shape or object with his Green Lantern's light to attack someone with. So he can literally just conjure up anything he can think of. This looks similar to what she's doing in this trailer, but she's doing it like with kind of like a purple ability with like purple crystals and stuff. Obviously, this origin looks very different from the comic book one, which could be an indication that the MCU is going to take a step back from introducing the Inhumans because of the show that they tried a couple years ago that failed. But, you know, we'll just see with that. And then there's a scene where it looks like she goes into an altered state of mind when she puts the wristbands on. I'm honestly not too sure what to think of it, if maybe that's when her power is activated for the first time or not. But it looks like it could be in the same room as the Captain Marvel statue, so maybe the same event, but like everything gets kind of purple and like she sees things differently almost. It's unclear whether or not that'll be a one-time thing or that's just how everything will look to her when she has her powers. But let's go ahead and continue with the last part of the trailer.
Did something happen to you?
No, why? Did you hear something?
Kamala?
What does it feel like?
Cosmic. I always thought I wanted this kind of life, but I never imagined any of this.
Do you even know what you are?
I'm a superhero.
So we see in her room, she has a bunch of Captain Marvel posters, which also just further proves how much she idolizes Captain Marvel specifically as a hero. So we see then her powers manifesting, where she creates crystals to walk on, she's jumping from building to building, and in that particular moment, she has extended legs and arms that are like purple, which is very akin to like what her comic book powers would normally look like. So in my opinion, this might be an indication that's what she's probably going to do more often than not to remain as comic book accurate as possible, although why they went with this to begin with, I'm not too sure. I'm not going to give my personal opinion on how I feel about it because I don't know yet because I haven't seen the show. But for these next couple scenes, there's not really too much concretely to say about them. It's a lot of good action shots, and it looks like there are these 4 individuals that are like in the headlights and stuff, and they might be antagonistic villains in the series. And then her final outfit looks like it could be either a handmade one like from earlier, or maybe it's one that she might have even bought from a store, just like a normal costume shop, which if that's the case, that also references potentially back to Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Morales, where when he's first figuring out his Spider-Man powers and he doesn't have like his own handmade suit, he actually buys a Spider-Man costume from a costume shop at first. And then the final shot of the trailer is actually really cool in my opinion, because it's just such a perfect shot of her sitting on the street light in front of the city. And it just was so cool for me to see because it felt very Kamala Khan to me. If you may not be familiar with her in the comics or in games and stuff like Marvel's Avengers, but it just felt very Kamala Khan. And that shot at the very end just felt like it was taken right out of a comic book panel, like right off the page. So I love it when they do stuff like that. But that about wraps up the trailer breakdown for Miss Marvel. There wasn't really a whole lot for me to look here. I'm not entirely sure what other people might be able to see. I'm definitely interested to see what other people might have picked up. But the main thing here I know is that her powers are definitely changed. So we'll see how general people react to it. I know probably a lot of comic book fans aren't going to be too happy about it, but I mean, a lot of comic book fans are sometimes almost happy about anything. Not happy about anything, I should say. But comment down below if you're excited for Miss Marvel. It looks like it comes out on June 8th. So I appreciate you for watching this breakdown.